Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hit the Deck, the Friday night podcast that is usually between myself and Mr. Vagram. Unfortunately, Vagram is having some internet issues, so he has a technician coming out today, and he is likely to be offline for at least part of the stream. So we are doing the stream solo today. It's just me today, unfortunately. So you're just gonna have to put up with me. We are here in Magic the Gathering Arena. It has just, well, I say just, updated yesterday to include shiny new direct challenges. So we may be doing some of those later on. We also have shiny things. So we have direct challenge. There is this whole learn more section, which is actually really cool. It has things about how to build a deck, sort of basic gameplay stuff. This level 1 full course thing is actually really good. It was written by a former world champion in MTGO, who now works for Blizzard as one of their internal playtest teams. So they basically playtest all of the sets before they're actually released to the public. And that was written by Reed Duke. He also did commentary on the Pro Tour that had just happened last weekend, which we will go into more detail about later on, because there's some really nifty decks that I would quite like to show off. There's also a new gift pack. So these, the gift pack is a physical card thing. You're here! Yay! I am in voice, by the way, if you want to, hop on for something. Hi Ranzer, how are you? Yeah, there's a new gift pack, which is an actual physical product. You have to buy the cards and you get a code which will redeem into MTGA for these 5 specific cards. You can also craft these through wildcards, from what I've noticed. The other thing is the event calendar is now public. If I do this.
Hello.
Vagram, how are you?
I'm good. Technician AT&T Uverse guy is on his way to fix our TV signal problem. So I'm going to vanish.
Yeah, that's
a
cool.
little bit.
I'm sure I'll cope without you. I'll be fine. So the future event calendar is now actually being made public, which is really quite interesting.
Ooh.
So at the moment we
That's
have
super neat.
Guilds of Ravnica is the draft set, and in what's that, next week, 21st, next Wednesday, we will have Sealed for Corner set 19, which is pretty cool. Draft comes after that, and then we're back to Singleton beginning of December, and then Dominaria comes back in on the 7th, which is cool. I like how they've actually made this public. Now we don't have to guess what's coming. So today, I thought that we could look at some of the pre-con starter decks and potentially look at how we can upgrade them. That was loud. So I have, I deleted all of the starter decks because apparently Arena has a 60 deck maximum, and I sort of ran out of room.
Are you serious?
I
mean, I removed them as well because I have exports of them on my profile.
Yeah, I tried to add a new deck, and it's like, yeah, you can't have more than 60 cards. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'll delete all of these pre-cons.
That's hilarious.
I thought we could look at both Jungle Secrets and, if we get that far, Eternal Thirst, because they seem to be very popular amongst the peoples of the community.
Jungle Secrets is still consistently one of the best performing pre-cons I have.
It is also a really good deck.
Easily. It always works. Yeah, Ranzer says you can only have 60 decks.
Only have 60 decks.
I wouldn't be surprised if that got expanded out later.
It would certainly make sense to expand it out.
That might have been a conservative guess by them just to save on some database space. until they saw how performance was and stuff
Or they
like
went,
that.
hang on, why have all these
You know.
streamers got like hundreds of decks? So
Maybe it was a problem in closed beta.
possibly. So I kind of spent some wild cards, by the way. We have a lot less wild cards than we did last week.
Only 5 mythic rares.
Yeah.
What did you do, you monster?
I built quite a lot of decks. Like all of the decks that I had unfinished are now finished. So like I needed 4 mythic rares for Arclight Phoenixes. I needed 4 mythic rares for Grixis control deck that's in here somewhere that I can't find.
I find it funny that you've got standard capitalization except for a couple of decks, namely one in the middle called Drakes in all caps. There's something funny
It's got
about that.
Drakes in it.
Yeah, I figured that out. Yes, thank you. Oh, it's a duplicate Jurassic
And then we
Park.
have Dragon Force. You know, this has a lot of mythic rares in it as well, actually.
Yep.
Like all of the dragons.
So speaking of mythic rares, I made that. You remember that gate deck we were talking about making with the gate gargoyle, whatever it was.
Yes.
And, you know, all the gate centric artifacts and stuff. I put together a preliminary version of that. And first problem, I realized that all my land came in tapped.
Yeah, I realized that problem early
And
on as well.
yeah, and then problem number 2, I had a whole bunch of rares and mythic rares, so every deck I faced actually worked. and mine
Yeah,
didn't.
I kind of ran into that problem as well. I think I played
So-
like one game with it, and I was like,
Yeah. Yep. I
Dragon
shelved it,
Force. I mean, it has a lot of fire in it. Does that count? Hey, Safrid! Hi, Saf. Hi, Safrid. I also upgraded your Vraska's Wrath, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm curious.
Okay, well,
I have gotten that Helm of the Host trick to work like once. It's a
I haven't
great card, but I'm
actually
probably
put
gonna
Helm of
pick
the Host in this one. I just kind of consolidated it slightly.
it out. It's a great idea, but I only have one, so I
Yeah,
never get
I
it.
have a few.
Yeah.
I have
You
3.
would.
I got most of those through drafting Dominaria when it was a Dominaria draft.
Yeah, there was that quick draft
Yeah.
Dominaria on the calendar. I think
Yeah,
it was.
that's
I want to do that.
December. Hi Pirate, hi Saf, hi Fox, how are y'all? Hi Sharpie.
So back to
Back
the original subject.
Yeah,
of
Jungle
Secrets.
Secrets. Now that we've taken that detour, we've come back to...
Or yes. Yeah, Jungle Secret's still one of the best. I think probably tied for me. Actually, no, I think it is better than Eternal Thirst. I think Eternal Thirst is an amazing deck, and it's a solid second place
I
for
think
me.
in
But Jungle Secrets
its
is still number
pre-con
one.
form, I think Jungle Secrets beats Eternal Thirst.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
Jungle Secrets isn't terribly concerned about which cards you get in which order, whereas Eternal Thirst needs specific cards in a specific order for it to work.
Yeah. That's one of the things I like so much about Jungle Secrets. It's that it plays off of these. It's a widespread combo concept. It's not, oh, you have to have this, then this, then this. It's not constructing this combination chain. It's basically all these different cards that just generally play off
Yeah.
of each other because it's all
I mean,
Merfolk tied. And that's the thing that
You
makes
have like
it work
outs
so
through
well.
like River Snake, which gets bigger as other Merfolk enter the battlefield.
Mhm.
You've got Deeproot Elite, which buffs all of your creatures when things hit the board. You've got Mistbinders, which is an Anthem effect. Kumena's like your bomb in this deck.
Yeah. You can get Water Trap Weavers to deal
Yep.
with some pests on the board and tie them up
Tempest
temporarily.
Cars, Sleep
Stuff
sets
like
up your
Sleep
death
to
turn.
deal with. Yeah. Oh, I've got everything in play and it's all available to attack next turn.
Bam, Sleep.
Bam,
Yeah,
Sleep.
I win.
Sweep in. Yeah. Yeah, I've died so many times to that combo. Hit with a sleep
And
and
everything,
everything
just goes
swings.
sideways, and you're like, oh, that's a lot
Yeah.
of damage on the table.
Uh-oh. That being said, I've also died to a lot of river sneaks just kind of poking at me until I
Yeah,
died.
the whole
So,
can't be blocked thing is it's horrifically bad.
Yeah.
Merfolk is the new slivers.
Merfolk is... I
Um,
kind of agree with that. Hey, Box. Hey,
I
Pirate.
mean, technically, any
Sharpie?
tribal deck can
Miriam?
do what Merfolk does. It's just Merfolk tends to do it faster because a lot of things, like the top end of this curve is 4 mana.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of pirate and pirate-centric stuff, and you can play into that real heavily by getting lots of pirates on the board, taking advantage of hand control with like Kite Sail Freebooter, and then using stuff like Fiery Cannonade to wipe off everything on the board except your pirates. But it's still the fact that there's not as much synergy in the pirate tribe as there in the Merfolk tribe. There's a lot of interplay and +1s here and +1s here.
And pirates are missing like the whole lieutenant style
unifiers
card, which both vampires and merfolk have. So Merfolk Mistminder and Legion Lieutenant, I think, is the vampire one. Yeah, you could get a Vanquisher's Banner and put it in there, and that would give the +1/+1 concept. It would unify the tribe a bit more, but that's like a 5-cost artifact. And by that point, like an aggro tribal deck wants to have won the game, not just be playing its buff effects.
Right. Yeah. So there's just Merfolk, and now we might see a change to this. Some of this kind of concepts, we might get a new tribe when the next Ravnica expansion box set comes out.
That is potential, yeah. Simic is the blue-green guild, and they traditionally use a lot of weird creatures, but there are some merfolk in amongst there as well. So we could see Merfolk get expanded. We could see some more vampires, and vampires come back into play heavier. Vampires will be a part of, because we have both Orzhov and Rakdos. That's black, white, and black, red. Right. So there is that whole potential. So it could be that the Eternal Thirst. Yeah, the Eternal Thirst concept might hit even harder when that comes out. But right now, Merfolk has got to be, except for maybe some dinosaur tribal stuff, maybe, and even that requires a bit more thought. In planning. You can't just put cards out. Merfolk is seamless, it's effortless, and it's, I don't want to say low thought because it makes it sound like it diminishes the impact of it. It's just a well-designed set of well-designed trial. Let's take this out for a spin, actually. Yeah, okay. Let's show it off. Yeah. He says he's probably gonna like. Now this is the straight precon? Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the same thing everybody else has. I haven't started making with any changes to it at all. Yeah. There are some that I think that people will get. Most people, there's a couple of like rares that I think most people have that are rare Merfolk that you could throw in. That probably everybody's familiar with. But right now, this is just straight up precon. It's not bad. I mean, we have Disperse, we have Kamina's Speaker, which is actually a really good 1-drop. You have 2 ways to annoy people early game. We'll keep it. We're on the play as well, so. Yeah. I've noticed that the change to the stack speed that they made in the last update is actually a lot more impressive than I thought it was. I haven't played. I haven't had a chance to open the game client since that friends update. I've had so many other different things going on. So we are playing the mirror match right now, which is. Oh God. Well, we'll see. It's interesting. It could be horrible. There you go. Tie up that river sneak. So the river sneak can't attack this turn either. Yep. Bang bang. So he's gonna put a counter on it. If there's 2 precons against each other, then this is really an issue of who's getting the better cards and who's playing. I mean, who's getting the cards in better order and who's playing the cards more intelligently. Now you take that counter. So away. The disperse one on the river sneak, not because he could potentially block me, but because he had a +1/+1 counter on him, and that drops off when he returns to hand. Yeah, I think it's funny seeing the rage concede. You know about get my counter away. Oh yeah, click. Yeah, I always get a kick out of Jungle Secrets is incredibly powerful, even out of the box. Yeah, it is. It's straight out of the box. It's a really good. So how do we take this and make it better? I hear you ask. Trunks,
how do we take this and make
Exactly.
it better?
So, I'm going to propose some cards. We're going to start from commons and work our way up to rares and mythic rares, because then people can sort of see the whole spectrum of how I would look at improving a deck. So the first card that I would look at adding is Mistcloaked Herald. So it's a 1/1 common from Rivals of Ixalan. It costs 1 blue mana and it cannot be blocked. So we're gonna throw 4 in there because I have 4. This it's not as good as River Snake, but you get it out a turn earlier.
Yeah. It's slightly cheaper than River Snake. And we have other mechanisms within the Merfolk tribe to get.
We have ways to make this huge anyway, so
yes,
it's not a terrible trade-off. Dive Down is another really good card in this deck. Again, it's a common. It costs 1 blue mana. Target creature you control gains +0/+3 and hexproof until end of turn. So you can use this on like your Kumena. If he gets targeted by like a murderer to save him, or save one of your vital creatures through a board wipe like a Deafening Clarion or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's only 1 mana for Dive Down. It is a really solid. I guess the until end of turn is what makes it so cheap.
Basically.
Because it gives you that extra health and that hexproof.
And hexproof is really
but it's
good
just
in meta. With the number of like burn decks that are going around, hexproof is just
right. It's just the only thing that really limits it is until end of turn. But that's why it's so cheap. So okay, that's a good card.
I generally only play 2 of these. You don't want to dilute the tribal factor too much by adding in spells that aren't merfolk creatures, but at the same time, it's just that good that it needs to be in there just to try and save some things.
Yeah, I keep thinking about, it's got green. It's a blue-green deck. That means I could shoehorn in Oaken Form and like Titanic Growth and like, Blanchwood Armor, and wait a minute, half my deck isn't merfolk anymore. What happened?
I think that's the one downside.
So you do have to be careful about that.
Tribal decks is that the more utility cards that you try and put in, the less tribal your deck becomes, and the less gelled it seems to work.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Dive Down will work well in a blue-red dinosaur deck. Blue for spells, red for enraged dinos. It would, but then you miss out on the awesome green dinosaurs as well. And there are actually some white dinosaurs that are pretty good as well. There's
something to be said for the overall design concept of the way Jungle Secrets has been designed, the way the pre-con deck has been designed. And this is, if you look at a lot of the pre-con decks, work very well because you have 2 colors, but they're not relying on color A is for, instants and sorceries, and color B is for the creatures. They have creatures divided across both color lines, which means if you have only green out, you can get some green creatures out. If you have only red out, you can get some red creatures out, or whatever your color combination is for the deck. This is one of the reasons why Jungle Secrets works so well. You have blue merfolk, you have green merfolk, you have some blue effects, and you have some green effects. They're not focusing it as dividing it between the color lines, and it's very easy to fall into that trap with a 2-color or 3-color deck, where suddenly you end up with only blue mana on the board, and you've got a whole bunch of removals and nothing else you can do.
Basically, yeah.
So, yeah, and that's something that I try to stick to when I'm getting a pre-con and upgrading it, quote unquote, is I try to keep it to where I'm not watering down one side too much.
Yeah, you're not throwing it out of balance.
Yes, exactly, and it's very critical on that. So, and I'm not saying that dividing alongst color lines is a bad idea. You can make decks that can make it work. I just think that requires a lot more finesse and tuning than a lot of people think about.
So in terms of other commons, there aren't a huge amount of like merfolk creatures that are good at common level. Some interesting choices would be like Shaper Apprentice, because typically this deck really suffers against flyers. And as long as you control another merfolk, this has flying, and you're pretty much always guaranteed to be controlling another merfolk.
I can think of several matches where I have won against this deck, specifically the Precon Jungle Secrets, because I had a couple of flyers.
It's probably one of the most common ways that I will lose with the merfolk deck is I don't have a way to deal with flyers.
Yep. Yeah, you face down an angel deck, or you face down somebody that just happens to have some of those. What are the artifact sky scanner drones?
Yeah, sky scanners.
You put it. They're just you just put them. Yeah, they're just 1/1s. You put them down, you draw a card, and that's basically they've done their trick. But I have actually killed somebody because I had 2 of those on the board and they had no flyers to deal with.
So this is an option.
So
as we get to like rare level, we'll see other options. But if you wanted to keep it without adding too many rares, this could potentially be an option. You've also got Storm Sculptor is kind of one of those niche additions that people wouldn't necessarily consider. It can't be blocked, and when it enters the battlefield, you return a creature you control to its owner's hands.
Ooh. Bounce back when you have something locked down.
So you're thinking, like, if you have something that's been like Luminous Bonds or something like that,
yes,
that is one use for it. You've also got things like
if you've got a big
that puts counters on when it comes into the battlefield, or Water Tap Reaver.
So you can get that enter the battlefield effect over and over again.
It also combos really well if you have like Deeproot Elite on the field. You can then get that another +1/+1 counter again, which is why I kind of like that.
If you've got a big 3/3 or 4/4 and it's got dead weight on it, or if you've got Luminous Bonds or so many other things that just type. What is it? Dominate?
Demote.
I think it is.
Demotion.
No. The white card that turns off trigger abilities as well as Luminous does what Luminous Bonds does. Yeah. Demotion. That's what it is. Demotion. I knew it was TION on the end of it. Demotion. You get something like Storm Sculptor. You can only have a couple of them in there, and it's a utility.
It's utility without
as well
sacrificing that tribal factor, which I like.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit of extra, and it's a 3/2 for 4. That's not too much extra mana cost added for that gimmick that you can get. So it is a thing where once you play it, does it say May?
No, you have to.
No, it says return. So you would have to be careful when you played it, which is why I wouldn't put too many of them.
It wouldn't be something I have more than a couple.
Yeah, but I mean, I could see that being useful for when you have something big that's tied down by Luminous Bonds or similar, or you want to get that echo effect when they enter the battle.
Preach asks, have either of you tried out the direct challenge thing yet? I have not personally.
I haven't even loaded up the game client since the patch came out yesterday. I've just been too busy.
Yeah, I have not personally, but I've been watching streamers play against viewers, so I know it works. I know how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the live stream when they were testing it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did like that.
Or they weren't really testing it; they were debuting it, I guess.
Yeah, showing it off
because they'd already done some testing on it. Yeah, showing it off. Yeah, they showed it off on a Twitch stream, and that was
which was cool. Nice.
Yeah, I do want to sit down and run through some games with some folks in the community over the weekend. I still haven't gotten to use it yet.
I think over the weekend I would quite like to maybe get some games in against people. Maybe use them as sort of an educational thing rather than a me bash you in the face thing. Because I know certain people are worried about just me bashing them in the face.
That would be something I would be worried about as well. Trunks has a considerable amount of card paper version Magic experience that goes back and that translates directly into a game like this.
Since like 2003.
Yes, exactly. You've only been playing most of your life. But you actually did go to, what was it?
The last Scottish Nationals was the last time I played competitive Magic.
Yeah.
It was in 2006.
Yeah. So there are definitely deep reserves of skills there that I respect, to be sure.
That was
So,
also
yeah.
the first time Ravnica was released. Just as a little bit of trivia.
What in what form? What was
Ravnica,
that?
the original Ravnica set came out 2005.
See, there's a big chunk of like, I don't know, there's got to be like a dozen, 2 dozen sets that I don't know anything about, because the last time I played was like the set after Weatherlight.
That was a long time ago, Vagram.
Yeah, that was a long time. I'm going to
That
go
was
look it up.
before I started playing. MTG Wiki.
Yeah. I'm curious.
I'm also curious. Hang on, let me
They
turn this on so we can all see
have
just how old Vagram is.
I don't know if they have a listing of sets here.
Weatherlight was the last set of the Mirage block.
Yep.
Does it say when this came out? No, it doesn't. Let's go to Wikipedia instead.
I'm looking at the Magic the Gathering entry, and I'm not really
Set history.
seeing.
Wait
Wait a minute. Where did you see set
Right
history?
here, set history. Weatherlight, released June 1997. So after Weatherlight came Tempest in October 1997.
Yeah, that's the last time I played. Literally the last time I played. The Tempest was the start of a new block. They had a whole bunch of new mechanics, and I moved and had a change in jobs, and I just suddenly had way less free time. And then several moves later, and you're not playing anymore. You're not hanging out with the same group of friends, and yeah, it just kind of dropped off my priority list for a while. So yeah, that is the last time I messed with up until I started following with Ixalan and Rivals of Ixalan more recently. No, it's not true. There was a couple of sets before that, like Kaladesh stuff.
Amonkhet and then Kaladesh.
And I started briefly paying attention in Amonkhet and Kaladesh, and then some of the stuff that followed that. And then I really started paying attention with Ixalan, and I was looking at Magic the Gathering Online, the other online game that they've got.
Which is a lot more complicated.
And yes. And then MTGA was kind of like announced, and
set list.
Oh god.
Yeah, so you must have stopped playing in Tempests. I started playing in Legions.
Yeah, I'd never even heard of Legions. Yeah, see, okay, Invasion, Plane Shift, Apocalypse, Odyssey, Torment, Judge. I've never heard of. I heard Onslaught.
Yeah.
And
Onslaught was fun.
Yeah, Champions of Kamigawa. I heard of the Kamigawa set.
That's probably because I go
block.
on about it all the time.
But I had Mirage sets, and cards, and I had Ice Age and
original Ravnica,
Weatherlight, and all sorts of Ravnica City of Guilds.
Ascension, that was 2005. Yeah, Cold Snap was fun.
So anyway, I do have a lot of older skill in Magic and playing the actual card game, but it doesn't translate very well anymore because
a lot of
they've
changed quite a lot
rules.
of it since then.
The stack wasn't a thing. It was basically what order were things played in. Okay, we'll resolve them in that order, or in reverse order, depending on counter spells.
I think 7th was when they changed the stack. 7th or 8th.
Yep. Yeah. So, last time I played physical Magic was May 1999. Says Lyrium.
Y'all are old.
I would like to state that I was of voting age and had an actual adult job the last time that I actually played. I never Magic the Gathering, the whole thing where, I picked up Magic the Gathering when I was in school, in high school or middle school or whatever, and I played with my buddies at school and stuff like that. The game didn't exist when I was in school. That's how old I am.
You were a senior in high school? No.
So yeah.
I was still in primary school.
See? Yeah, Lyrium says, listen, puppy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Other options
Yeah.
at common level. Let's like diverge back onto track here.
So many detours.
Jungle Delver is an okay choice. It acts as a mana sink for later game if somehow you get stalled out, but it's not fantastically good.
It's a 1/1 that's got a really expensive mana sink on it.
It's only really there if you do get stalled and you're like, I need something to do with all of this mana.
Right. I think that is a really big if possibility. I think that if you've got a Merfolk deck designed
you should
well,
never
you should
get
never
to that.
need
No,
that
exactly.
card.
Which is why I was like, it's an option, but not a very good one. Tishana's Wayfinder is another potential option. Although it is outclassed by a lot of the other Explore cards, but it's a common, so it's an option.
If I was going to put an Explore mechanic in, I would try to make a little bit of room on the green side for Path of Discovery, because then everything explores.
This is true, yeah. But you have like Jade Light Rangers, and I don't think they're actually in this version of the deck, but Merfolk Branchwalkers as well. Which, I mean, the Jade Light Ranger costs the same. It's a 2/1 and it explores twice.
Yeah, I think it's a better card.
If you
Jade Light Ranger
if
is
you wanted
really
to
good.
keep it as like no rares, you could add Tishana's Wayfinders in instead, but Jade Light Ranger is always the better choice in my opinion. You also have Jade Guardian, which is very expensive, but it gives you a hexproof that also puts a +1/+1 counter on a Merfolk.
Yeah.
It's there if you need it. I wouldn't.
It's a 2/2 that's hexproof. You can do some solid damage with it, and it's only going to get caught if you get hit by board wipe spells, or if you you're right, or if it gets blocked.
Look, we have emotes now, by the way, guys. Like Dragon Balls.
Woo!
Well, I remember.
Decon Create says, no, sidetracks be fun.
Sidetracks are fun, but, like, they're sidetracks. Yeah.
Not productive. Yeah. Nostalgia train. Dark Preacher says, you're still eating pasting, figuring out how to keep inside the lines when we were playing MTG Trunks. It's snarky and kind of mean, but it's true.
It's a very Preacher comment, to be fair.
Yeah, very Preacher comment, yes.
So let's move up to uncommons.
Yeah,
because there's lots of options at uncommon level.
Yeah, uncommon is where it opens up.
So
one of
the key cards is this Deeproot Waters.
Okay, whenever you cast a Merfolk spell, create. Oh yes, I have been ruined by this. I like this card, and it's very evil long term because everything that you cast that's a creature is a Merfolk. Yeah. So, yeah, that adds up fast. I got overrun by 1/1 hexproof Merfolk just in
you
like
can have
4
multiple
rounds.
copies of this in play at the same time, and they all trigger every single time.
I'm going to circle back around to the concept of Path of Discovery.
Yeah.
Because not only will it let you get some mana out earlier, is every time that Deeproot Waters creates a 1/1 Merfolk, it explores when it hits the map. If you have multiple copies of that of Path of Discovery on the table, that's good. But even just one copy of it out, every time one of these gets created, it explores when it hits the battlefield, and it becomes, if you're lucky, a 2/2 instead of a 1/1. And you can ruin people's day with it.
This is very true. So I'm going to shove 4 of those.
Plus, that's not even.
Why not?
That's not even talking about like the +1/+1 to all Merfolk or lieutenants and stuff. Yeah, that's a nasty enchantment, and it can definitely ruin your day if you're not careful.
It's just.
Miriam says, "I love Star of Extinction." What is
Star
that?
of Extinction's a horrible card. And nobody should ever play it.
What is it?
Why is it not?
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Common. This is Star of Extinction. So for 7 mana, you destroy target land, and Star of Extinction deals 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker.
Holy, what? Well, okay, it's a good card. Not applicable within this circumstance, but it's a good card. That's mean.
It's very mean. Nobody should ever play it. Stop being mean.
Yeah. Wow, Larry. It gives me insight into what your
It's not
decks
limited
like.
to 2 per deck. I only have 2. Oh, it's because I've got Fiddler Dread. Yeah, so I only have 2 that have been collected. I don't have the other 2. You can have up to 4 per deck.
Mm-hmm. 4
so
per
like
deck,
these,
4 in
I
your
can-
collection.
I have all 4 of, so I could have 4 of those in a deck. But like that's a mythic rare.
This
So
game-
I don't have all of them yet.
Yeah. Magic the Gathering Arena very, very much hinges on. I want to say that it's a card mechanic that was pioneered by Hearthstone, and I think it's okay to say that, or at least it was best displayed by Hearthstone. In that, you may only have 4 copies of a card in your library, and you can put up to 4 copies in a deck, but you can use those copies in multiple decks at any time. So just because you have 4 copies doesn't mean you can only have 4 copies in one deck and they won't go in any other deck.
It's just you can have 4 copies in a deck, but you can have them in any number of decks that you have.
Yes. And it's one of the things that I really like about this style of game. Hearthstone does that, and I think it's a very friendly way to do it. Magic the Gathering Arena. I actually don't know any of the card mechanics or game mechanics for MTG Online. I'm not sure, but I know that Arena does it and does it well. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not sure about MTGO either. I think I poked at it, like, briefly.
It's got a $10 sign-up fee, and I was kind of like, I'm going to wait and talk to somebody who plays it.
I poked at it,
And
like, you have
then
to
this came
buy
out.
packs, and yeah, it's not very free to play.
Yeah, it is
Anyway, enough of Star of Extinction. Surely we'll never talk about it ever again.
not.
Other things. Oh wait, fill it for uncommon. Other things we can put in at the uncommon level, aside from our lovely friend Deeproot Waters, we have Merfolk Branchwalker, which is a great card. It's a 2/1 for 2, which explores when it enters the battlefield.
Definitely a good card. Definitely.
We also have a 4th copy of our good friend Merfolk Mistbinder, which I would highly recommend.
Yes, those lieutenant cards, as you labeled them, I think are really, really good cards, because they definitely, once you get a couple of those out, it starts adding up to that steamroll factor.
They're just, there's no reason not to play them in a tribal deck.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be convinced otherwise, but I just don't see why you would not play these cards. Tempest Caller.
Yeah,
is also
exactly.
another
They're very good cards.
Another good option. I would probably not play more than like 2 of these because they are expensive, but it's an option. Merfolk Trickster is often overlooked. It's a fantastic card. The only downside is the 2 blue casting cost in a double color deck is sometimes difficult to achieve on turn 2.
Yeah, sometimes you get into early, even like 3 or 4 rounds in, and you've got a blue and like, 2 or 3 greens, and that one blue limits you. That being said, Merfolk Trickster is, because it's got flash, that means you can play it as an instant, which means you can play it in response to needing a blocker in an opponent's turn.
Although, if they only have one creature, if you play it before you go to combat, then you can tap that creature and they don't get to attack.
Wait a minute, say that again?
If they only have one creature, you can flash this in.
Yes.
You can flash in Merfolk Trickster and tap it, and then they don't even get to attack.
Yes. And it's a good, for 2 mana, it's a 2/2 for 2. That's good right there. That's solid cost. But it also has flash, and it taps a target when it enters the battlefield. There's no downsides to Merfolk Trickster, really.
Until end of turn as well is also phenomenal.
Yeah, that would turn off +1/+1s to all other creatures of whatever type.
Turns off like Poison Tip Archer, as Preach says in chat. It's a good example of something else that turns off.
Yeah, really good card. I really think that's a pretty. I think that could be a good staple of any blue deck. Much less.
It's in the mono blue tempo deck just because of the amount of tempo it generates. insane.
Yeah.
Aquatic Excursion is actually another card that I was only recently introduced to, which has a lot of potential.
When Aquatic Incursion enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 Merfolk creature tokens with hexproof. Okay. And then for 3 and a blue, target Merfolk can't be blocked this turn.
Yeah.
Wow. And that is reusable, so
if
you could, if you've got the
you can
mana,
make several creatures unblockable.
That's worthy.
I kind of like this. I haven't played with it yet because I literally only saw it the other day, but I saw it and I was like, I wonder if I can use this.
Yeah, I could see having like 2 of those. I don't think I would go any
two is
farther.
Probably where I would stop. Other potentials, I mean, we can look at Forerunner the Heralds, but in general, we don't really care about specific Merfolk. We just want to play Merfolk. I could see using Forerunner to get like Kumena, but you can win games without Kumena. It's not. I don't think it's needed.
Yeah. I do like the kind of idea of Forerunner of the Heralds, where you have something that is getting beefed up. It's getting +1/+1s on it every time you play a Merfolk. But when you have a Merfolk deck that's got so many other cheap things, and then that big beefy guy right there, it screams Murder Magnet.
His power is greater than his toughness, so he dies to things like Justice Strike, Shock.
Yeah, Shock would take that out in 1 round before it even got pluses. That basically it screams Murder Magnet to me. You're going to get a couple of, you're going to play it and then play some other cheap Merfolk to get some plus counters on it, and it's going to get bounced back to your hand, or murdered, or shocked, or lightning striked, or whatever.
Something like that.
So yeah, it's 4 mana.
Yeah, 4 mana.
For a 3/2. I mean, the search function is kind of nice, but
yeah, it doesn't
I'm
even
not keen on
put it in your hand. It puts it on top of your library as well.
Yeah, if you put it in your hand, I might be a bit more impressed with it for that cost, but
Swift Warden, is another sort of niche choice.
It's a green equivalent of the blue flash blocker that we had. And it's a 3/3 for 3.
And it gives another Merfolk you control hexproof, but again, it's got a double green casting cost, which...
Yeah, that is... it would be so much better if it was 2 colorless and a green. But, yeah. That being said...
It is a 3/3, it does have flash.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like Vineshaper Mystic as well.
When Vineshaper Mystic enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2. I kind of like cards like this because they come in, they throw some counters on a couple of adjacent Merfolk, which makes it's like it's confusing the issue on which one you need to take out if you're an opponent.
Yeah.
Like, I see this come onto the battlefield. It's a 1/3. It's a good blocker early game. Also, it just made a couple of 1/1s into 2/2s. Exactly. Well, that's problematic. So what do I deal with first? Do I deal with one of the 2/2s, or do I take out the 1/3? And once it gets onto the battlefield and it puts those tokens out, it's done its primary job.
You don't have to worry about it.
So, yeah, I think that's a good card. I think even the 1/3 for 3 is a good value considering you're beefing up 2 other targets.
I would agree. I ran 2 of these when I was working on upgrading this deck. So
I think that's a good card.
Deccan says, you have me wanting to play more MTGA. I would say this is payback for making me want to play Disgaea 5, so...
It should be noted, Deccan, that the only limit to MTGA is free time.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, there's no money. You don't have to put any cash into it. I have been doing basically just my dailies, and I'm up to 10,000 gold saved up on my account. I put 0 cash into this game. I've got a really good collection of cards. I get a steady stream of uncommons, rares, and mythics as quest rewards. I get packs, booster packs as quest rewards. It's a really well set up game.
How accessible this game is. It's phenomenal.
It's super accessible. They've done a really good job at it. I'm so happy they're not talking about, overhauling, or we're going to turn off the wild card system after we launch it officially or whatever. I really like the fact that they're sticking to their guns on what they've got, and it's just super well done. The only limitation, there's no financial limitation, there's no monthly subscriptions. The only limitation is how much free time you have
and how good you are, technically.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that starter pack too, Lyrium.
I bought the starter pack, and then I bought like several hundred other packs.
Yeah. Ranzer says I spent a grand total of $5 on MTGA.
It's
it's awesome. Yeah, same thing.
So I think in terms of this deck, there probably aren't that many other uncommons that I would necessarily recommend.
I think we're at a good point.
Yeah.
Like in terms of uncommon cards.
We may look at trimming down the deck first and then playing with this version and then look at rares and mythics. I think that might be a good way to do it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that'll be a good
Star
idea.
of Extinction's a terrible card, Lyrium. You kill a land and you kill everything. It's just terrible. Stop.
He's being mean. Ignore him. Yeah, I think right now we look at what cards we have, which ones do their jobs better, and which ones do their job worse.
So I want to take Jadebearer.
Okay. Highlight Jadebearer. Yeah, there you go. Put a +1/+1 counter on another target Merfolk. So we technically have something that does that slightly better. The only benefit of this is that it's a 1/1 for 1.
The downside, however, is that it's a 1/1 for 1, and if you get this in your opening hand, you really want to play this turn 1 when it doesn't have any effects.
And it's not putting a counter on anything. Yeah, it is counterproductive on that front. That is very true. If this is a 1 mana early game card that you get, you're wasting part of its potential. That's a very
I would prefer to cut those over. I mean, even Deeproot Elite does a better job of it than that. But we also have Vineshaper Mystic, which is, that ++. So I'm gonna cut those.
Yeah, those days do exist, Mr. Roo. Yeah, it's called Settle the Wreckage.
There is also
another Wrath card. Like, not Wrath of God, but there is another card that
Cleansing Nova.
Like that. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
It costs 1 more than Wrath of God used to, but you have the 2 options, so you can destroy all artifacts and destroy all creatures.
A bit. A lone bit from Spadoinkle. It's a great name. I love saying it every time. It's very comic booky. Something about, the old Batman 60s TV show. Spadoinkle.
Doink.
Anyway. Yeah, there is. Yeah, Cleansing Nova is a mean card.
You also have
100%.
Ritual.
Mr. Roo says, and I quote,
You also have Ritual of Suit, which kind of does the same thing, but it's mana cost limited. Ritual of Suit, for the record, destroys this deck.
Yes, that is unfortunate. It destroys token decks because tokens don't have a converted mana cost.
0, so they just die.
Yeah, by the way, which is still the greatest loophole that I use on Vraska, Golgari Queen. Her middle ability.
Target.
I think it's -3.
That's a converted mana cost of less than 3.
That has a CMC of like 3 or...
Yeah.
It's like 3 or less or 4 or less, something like that. Yeah, I just click, boom, click, boom, click, boom. You can just take out tokens that pester you really quick. I killed a 40/40. Oh god, it looked like some Eldrazi demon thing that somebody faced with me. That I faced in a deck, a really weird deck, where he would get his health.
Oh, I know what you're talking
about. Trade places. It would trade power and toughness with a creature, so he would have 5 health and they would have like 20. Something like that, and then he would get his health back, and off of giving it lifelink. That's maybe, it had lifelink, and so they would give their health to it. It would hit once,
running something like
for like 10 health, something like that. I can't remember. It was a really I was confused and panicked, and I wanted to cry in a corner most of the match. It was really weird. But it was a token. The thing that he had on the board was some weird Eldrazi demon thing,
creates
and it was a token
that has a power and toughness of equal to half your life.
Yes, and I basically pulled out Vraska, and I one-click killed a 40/40 demon nightmare. It was awesome. Anyway, yeah, I love that whole loophole on tokens and CMC cost.
People don't really think about it either.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, trimming. We do have dive down. Early game, a little bit of an early game defensive buff.
It also functions into the late game as well. So I think we keep that. We keep the heralds because there's no reason not to. It's a 1/1 for one that can't be blocked.
Yeah, that's a great early game. And you're not wasting any potential there.
Kumena Speaker I'm going to take out just because we kind of are saturated at 1-drops right now.
Right. That does raise the question, though. It's a green 1-drop. We don't have any green 1-drops. We have the next green we've got is 2. Now, that might not be critical for balance, but we will have to make sure and stay on curve to make sure we don't eliminate a whole bunch of the lower green cards.
We've got like branch walkers at 2, so they will definitely be staying in. We've also got the mistbinders, which have green in them. So
yes, that is true.
We'll be keeping this a deep root elite as well. Just FYI.
Yeah, those mistbinders, really good card. I cannot wait for more of those dual color cards for from what is it called? The next Ravnica set was going to be. Yeah, and I'm really curious about what other dual color cards like that are going to be coming out. I'm really
looking forward to Ravnica Legion because it has my favorite color combo in it in black-white.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Which is, wait a minute.
Orzhov.
Which guild? Orzhov. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes on
although it also includes blue-white, which is going to be horrible.
Yeah. So, looking at mana costs and stuff, we have River Herald's Boon, which is the +1/+1 tokens sorcery, I think.
I'm going to cut that too because we have better ways to make tokens.
Yeah, better ways to make counters.
Sorry.
Yeah, we do. We have other ways to get counters, Merfolk Mistbinders, and other such things that will drop tokens on. Counters onto stuff when they come in. Yeah, so that is.
I'm going to cut this Deeproot Champion as well because we're not really playing enough non-creature spells to justify it.
Right, that is a question that I had that I always thought was weird about the precon. Is that it's got this card that relies on generating counters off of non-creature spells.
That many
and really
spells.
Spells exactly. There was very little to combo off of. There's like Disperse and maybe
you had like Disperse, you had River Herald's Boon, and the only other one is Sleep.
Yeah, that was it. And it seems like that was a bit of a waste.
Why you do this?
Yeah, and that will drop our rare count down by
which
one,
is true.
Which might be good.
It's always good to keep in mind.
Sucker in somebody to get pummeled by this poor deck. Whenever another Merfolk enters the battlefield under your... you moved it.
This one?
Deeper
Elite?
No. Yeah. See, they put a +1/+1 whenever another Merfolk... See, this is a more long-term mechanism that I've always kind of liked on this.
Although if you drop it turn 2 and you manage to drop Deeproot Waters turn 3, then... I say managed to drop. I've pulled that combo off several times, so it's not that difficult.
Right. I think it would be cool if we had another one of those, because it's not super expensive. It's not like those, green rares that have, a 5 or 6 CMC. I think that would be really cool, but we are trying to prune cards, not add. So
another card I would consider taking is Disperse, just because it's not a tribal card.
While I do see your point, I do also think that there's always some core color cards that are useful that just won't line up. I mean, technically, Murder is not a tribal deck card, but it's in like every vampire deck there is, or skeleton zombie deck. Yeah. That being said, we have other methods for dealing with problematic players on the battlefield, like Water Trap Weavers and stuff like that. So it's while useful, it's not critical.
I will think we have ways to do this that are on a tribal effect, so we can cut this. Mm-hmm. Plus, since we've cut the champion, we don't really care if it's on a body instead of a non-creature spell.
Right, exactly. We still have some way to pull
Yeah.
off that same. Did we add that card that where they come into the battlefield, you return something
I actually don't
back?
think we did.
I can't remember.
No,
I don't think we put that one in
did.
there. It's not critical. We don't need it. It's fine.
Deep Root Elite is good. River Snake's good. River Snake's a little bit slow. I don't know.
What do you mean a little slow?
It.
Well, I mean, we have Mistcloak
Yeah,
Heralds
I'm
now.
just thinking we need to play this with other creatures to get the benefit from it, and it only keeps that for until the end of the turn.
Right. So you have to keep playing to get something out of it. If you have a turn where you don't have a Merfolk in hand to conjure, it goes back to 1/1. Mistcloak Heralds come out one turn quicker.
They don't have the buff.
They are still unblockable. I mean, we can still get them counters from other creatures coming into play or other cards that we've got, and those will still stay just as useful on a Mistcloak Herald.
Yes. I think we may cut this because we have the Heralds. It's also going to bring down that.
Yeah.
Because we have 14 guards at 2.
I think that
excessive.
it is a lot of 2-cost cards, yeah. I think that the Mistcloak Herald is a streamlined, slightly more optimized version of the River Snake.
Silvergill Adept is phenomenal just because it draws us a card, and card advantage is literally king in this game. I would hesitate to cut that.
My only thing about this is that you have to reveal, basically, if you don't have another, I've had 3 of these in my hand, or not 3 of these. This is one of 3 cards. I had this card and 2 land cards in my hand, and I didn't have enough mana to pay it because I had to pay the additional cost because it was the only Merfolk card I had in my hand.
That is a downside.
And that is one clause that has caught me and cost me several times. I'm kind of okay with, enter the battlefield, draw a card, or you reveal another Merfolk card instead of paying the additional cost. I'm kind of okay with that because quite often, I've got a 1/1, a 1-cost 1/1 that I'll, reveal, or
you have a Mistcloak
a
Herald.
1/1 for 2.
Yeah, let's draw a card here. By the way, I've got a Mistcloak Herald.
Ooh, yeah, exactly. I have a 1/1 in my hand to be afraid, kind of a thing. I'm okay with that whole getting it cast for cheaper. If you reveal a Merfolk card, that's just the flip side of that has bit me a couple of times. But I will agree, it's a fabulous card because you can get it out for cheap if you reveal another Merfolk card and it gets you a card draw when it enters the battlefield. That's a really good deal.
So I like that. I like the Deep Root Elite. Like you said, we would love more of these because they're just fantastic. Branch Walker's really good. We added those. We're going to keep those. Merfolk Mistbinder is pretty much a guarantee that we're going to play that. Deep Root Waters is just phenomenal. People underestimate this card all the time. It's great. I'm going to go down to 2 Water Trap Weavers just to try and thin out the number of cards we have in the deck.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, do we need to do that? Yeah, we'll go down to 2.
We still have Sleep.
Yeah, we still have Sleep. We still have Tempest Callers, which do all creatures, whereas Water Trap is just the one. It's good for taking out specific nasty things, but we have other ways to do the same thing, so it's not vital. Jade Light Ranger, great card. We probably should be playing more of those. Yes.
Deep Root Waters is as easily dismissed as Drowned Secrets. Yeah. I can agree with that statement, I think. When Jade Light Ranger enters the battlefield, it explores, then it explores again. There's such a broken mechanic. Because if you explore and you get a non-land, you just leave it on the top of the deck. And that second pass is an automatic +1/+1 again. So it goes from a 2/1 to a 4/3, which is just evil.
And then if you have the Mistbinder, it's +1/+1 from that. Deep Root Elite triggers tokens off of it.
It's a 5/4. Yeah, that means it's out of reach of shock. It's out of reach of lightning strike. All sorts of stuff.
So we would love more of those, but we're not at the rare stage yet. Jungleborn Pioneer I'm going to take out because we have Deep Root Waters and it does the same thing but for every single Merfolk in our deck.
I can agree with that.
The Mystics are nice. I like those.
The Blind Shaper Mystics?
What I may do is go down to 2 Silver Gill Adepts just to bring us to 60 cards. While we try out Aquatic Incursion and see how that goes. If that doesn't work out, then we will come back and fiddle with things. But I think, in general, we should be fairly okay with this as it is.
Yeah. You want to take it for a spin?
Let us take for a spin.
A little whirly-darly.
That. Yeah, I've already used Deep Root Waters as a card art, so we're doubling up, but you'll just have to live with it. Yeah. So, Jungle Secrets 2.0.
It's fine.
Let us see what we get today. Well, this time. We've already played today. Fanshin.
Playing a second time today.
Is playing as Vivian Reed. This game's a little bit loud.
I know nothing about the Vivian Reed character. I mean, I know they're a Lord or Planeswalker or something, but...
Question mark? I'm going to keep this. We have the 2 land for the Branchwalker, which will hopefully get us to our 3rd land, and then we can sort of curve out into Watertap Weaver, potentially Tempest Caller. Plus we have Tempest Caller and Sleep, which, yeah, I think this is a good hand.
Some good early game offensive handling, yeah. Oop. I do believe there is a knock at my front door. I need to depart. I'm going to keep the stream on for as long as my connection stays up.
Have fun. Good luck.
Yes. Good luck with your game, sir. I will catch up later and see how it went. Everybody be nice to Trunks. Bye.
So, we drop the Branchwalker. Branchwalker explores and gives us a Woodland Stream, which is terrible, but we'll live with it. Depending on what he plays here... So this is the mono green starter deck. So I'm going to drop the Woodland Stream because we don't have anything we want to hit with the Watertap Weaver yet. And I would rather have the Mistbinder come out this turn so we could hit for 3. Next turn we go up to 4 mana, so we will see what he plays and then sort of react accordingly. Druid of the Kill. Okay. Second Druid of the Kill. So he's now on 6 mana, which is terrifying. Again, he doesn't really have anything I want to hit with any of these spells yet, so I'm just going to drop the Mistcloaked Heralds. And then go to combat and swing in with the Branchwalker. If he wants to kill a Druid, then we will take it. Otherwise, I'm happy to do 3 damage to him. A Pitiless Gorgon. That is a potential problem. And it's going to Rabid Bite the Mistbinder, so we're going to protect it with Dive Down, which causes Rabid Bite to fizzle because it now cannot target the target. Okay, so we have land. I'm going to Watertap Weaver to tap out the Pitiless Gorgon. And then swing in with these 2. So he can trade the Llanowar Elf if he wants, but he's more likely to just take 5. He does have 7 mana on the board, which is terrifying. Okay, so he kills off that. Not the best, but... Arcane Encyclopedia, huh? So, Deeproot Waters comes in. We'll just swing with our unblockable boy. He is on 8. So if we sleep next turn, we hit him for 5. I think we're going to sleep him, because that'll take him down to 3. And then if we need to, we can also Tempest Caller, just for the memes. I don't know if he realises he's dead or not. Yeah, he does. So unfortunately we didn't really get to see any of the new cards except for the Mistcloaked Herald. But Mistcloaked Herald is strong. I think I'm going to play another game with that, because I want to see how the new additions go before I start making changes. Although I kind of know what I want to change anyway. I kind of want to get a baseline performance before we start doing that, just so that when I start making changes it makes sense to you guys as well. The amount of land we drew that card was insane though. Yes, I want this. So we won't be playing Mistbinder on turn 2. We will be going to turn 3 and then playing Deeproot Waters instead. Okay, so he's either playing mono blue, mono green Stompy or Elf Ball, one of the two. It's Stompy, and that Brontodon is problematic because he's going to kill Deeproot Waters. Okay, he's swinging for 5. No, he's swinging for 2. Okay. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's play a Mistcloaked Herald. And then play a Mistbinder. We should get some use out of Deeproot Waters before the Brontodon blows it up. Although he looks to be a new player. Well, that should... no, Rapid Bite, okay. Oh yeah, Deckmaster. Okay, so we have a couple of options here. Okay, if you refresh, Deckmaster should now be running. I'm going to play a second Deeproot Waters so that we at least have one survive. This is going to hurt though. So he's going to kill one of them, which was an incredibly silly move. He should have kept it and attacked, but hey. Stop giving me land. I'm gonna Tempest Caller. I shouldn't Tempest Caller. I should have Water Tap Revered. We're pretty much dead. We are 100% dead. Yeah, we're 100% dead. What is our land? We have 25 lands. We don't go above 4. I kind of want to cut a couple of lands. Maybe go up to 9 and 9. So that should give us 20. No, I want 22. I'm going to cut one of the woodland streams. Doesn't mean we can go back up to 4 Silver Gill Adepts. And is there anything else that is not rare? Drop in another Water Tap Weaver. Why not? We primarily lost that game because we drew land when we actually needed creatures. Tribal decks are very creature heavy. And although yes, we would love to be able to cast multiple creatures, this is a good hand actually. Although yes, we would love to be able to cast multiple creatures a turn, we have Deeproot Water, so we don't specifically need to be able to do that. Because Deeproot Waters effectively gives us extra creatures every turn. So it's not as vital casting like 2, 3, 4 creatures a turn. Red, huh? We will keep the Silvergill Adept. Although it does mean that we are going to have to reveal Kumena. Goblin Instigator. Ah, I should have played the island. Ah! I'm not going to attack because I feel the shame of not playing the island. Ooh, and an Onaki Ogre. Trunks, you muppet. So, I kind of want him to attack with the Ogre so we can kill it. Although at the same time, oh god. I know I said I wanted to kill the Ogre, but I've just realised that if we play this right, then next turn we get a lot more tokens. So we're going to play the Silvergill Adept. We're going to reveal the Merfolk Mistbinder because we're going to play it this turn anyway. That also makes all of our guys big, and we can now kill off the Ogre with a token and potentially the Havoc Devils with the Silvergill Adept. So we're not going to attack just so that we can choose our blockers, rather than throw the Mistbinder, the Branchwalker, and it be blocked by something that we don't necessarily want to trade with. He did not kick that, which is good. Okay, so we have 6 mana on the board. At this point, I want to play Kumena because we have Deeproot Waters, which is going to create other merfolk that we can use for his effects. Plus, we have more than 5 in play, so we can start putting counters on things and then drop to Herald next turn and potentially kill him. So we're not going to attack because I want to use Kumena this turn. So we're either going to use him as a combat trick when we block, or we'll just use it at the end of the opponent's turn, depending on what they do. They're probably going to swing with the dragon. So he's not attacking with anything else. So we will instead just put counters on everything. Okay, so we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 16, 20, 25. Yeah, we're just going to kill him. Go to combat, attack with everything. He can't block anything, he dies. There we go. Merfolk for the win! This is why Ranzer doesn't like Merfolk decks. Just FYI. So I have enough gold to buy a pack, so I'm just going to buy a pack so you can see me open another pack on stream, because I know how much you guys like watching me open packs. So we get some more wild cards, which is great. Aquatic Incursion, which we're using. Luminous Bonds is pretty good. This guy's actually okay. He would be a really good limited draft. Jungleborn Pioneer, we've kind of talked about. Protean Raider. So Shapeshifter Pirate, if you've attacked with a creature this turn, you can have him enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature. That is phenomenal. I like that. Okay. So I think now that we have adjusted the land base for this, we've dropped down to 22 land instead of the 25 that we had before. That played a lot smoother to me. So I'm going to go on and make up version 3. Edit that. We'll go Jungle Secrets 3.0. And this is the point where we start going into rare and mythic territory. So in terms of rares and mythics, there are a phenomenal number of cards that could be useful. A lot of them, however, do break like tribal boundaries. So like, there are things that are really good in here. Like Warkite Marauder is a fantastic card, but it's not a merfolk, so there are ways around that, like Arcane Adaptation lets us make everything into merfolk, Metamorphic Alteration will let us copy things, but in general, if we can stick to merfolk, then it would be better. Okay, store run needed. See you later. Bye, Preacher! Enjoy your store run. We'll might be here when you get back. Probably won't, but we might. So, other things that I want to add. Azcanta is really nice for filtering, but when it flips, we only get non-creature, non-land cards, which we do not have that many of. Counters and unblockable to the rescue, yep, exactly, Vagram. So although I would really like to put Search for Azcanta in, I'm not going to, just because when it flips it's terrible. We could choose not to flip it, but it's vulnerable while it's still an enchantment. I think I might leave it. We'll start off, we'll filter by merfolk, because that's the good thing to do. Obvious includes are more Deeproot Elites and more Jadelight Rangers, so I think we will go up to 4 of each of those for the lulls. Deeproot Champion is a terrible card in this. Kopala is okay. I wouldn't necessarily main board that. She may go in the sideboard, or that might actually be a guy. They may go in the sideboard. I'm not sure if we'll actually do a sideboard. Kumena I want to go up to 4 of, because Kumena is insane, as you've just seen. The only other thing I may do is go up to 2 of each of these, although this does mean that we need to cut quite a lot of things. Let's just have a quick glance through here. There's not looking to be anything else that I'm really that bothered about. Any multicolour green blue things. Dana's Claim. So this is pretty much the only way that we are going to have an answer to flyers. When it flips, well, it has 2 benefits. One, it puts +1/+1 counters on things, which is good, as we've just seen. +1/+1 counters is great. Vanquisher's Banners, every time you cast a merfolk you draw a card. That is also a potential inclusion that I had not thought about. Vanquisher's Banner is around here somewhere. Vanquisher's Banner. As it enters the battlefield, choose the core creature type, so we do choose merfolk for that. We get +1. Yeah, I'll throw a couple of those in, actually. The other thing that I want to add in is a land. I should have mentioned this during the uncommon section, but Unclaimed Territory for a tribal deck is insane. You choose a creature type when it comes in, and you can tap it to add 1 mana of any colour as long as you're casting a creature spell of the chosen type. So we'll throw 4 of those in. We'll take out... I'm going to take out those 3. I'm going to go up to 4 Hinterland Harbours as well. Okay, so now we need to start cutting things. Unfortunately, our friend Watertrap Weaver is coming out because he's a lot slower than I would like. Fineshaper Mystic is also coming out. We still have a lot of cards. I'm sort of tempted to cut the Merfolk Branchwalkers. I'm going to cut the Incursions because we have, through Herald of the Secret Streams, we have ways around that. We haven't actually played Aquatic Incursion, but I think it might just be too slow because you have to pay mana to actually trigger its effect. It would be a great mana sink, but we have, like, through Sleep and Tempest Caller, we have other ways to get things through without them being blocked. So we need to cut 10 cards here. I'm going to take the Branchwalkers out, although that... No, we're still okay curve-wise. We need to look at our 3 drops. Deeper Waters is kind of critical. Hadana's Climb is not, but it's really good. I'll drop down to 1 of each of these. The Vanquisher's Banner might just be too slow. Hang on, let me have a look at the other deck. What do you have in you? Okay, so it cuts the Tempest Callers. Okay. So we cut the Tempest Caller. Sleep is a better version of Tempest Caller, although it's not on a Merfolk. It does also affect them during their next upkeep phase. I'm actually going to drop Silvergill, because Seafloor Oracle will draw us cards, Vanquisher's Banner will also draw us cards. We'll go up to 3 Vanquisher's Banners. Probably drop a Forest, go up to 4 Vanquisher's Banner. That should still give us... Three's a little bit heavy, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, let's give this a whirl. Jungle Secrets 3.0. Let's see what this does for us. This may fail miserably, or it may work really well. By the looks of it, it's going to cause us issues. I'm going to keep it anyway, because hopefully we get another mana, we can Jadelight Ranger into an island. Hopefully. You generally don't want to drop a Mistbinder unless you have another Merfolk out on the battlefield. We are distinctly lacking in mana right now. And he's playing blue-white. Yeah, this could go badly. Are you going to shock him? No. I'm going to swing for 1. He has counterspell up, which I'm not particularly happy about. And we have, like, no mana. So I'm going to discard Jadelight Ranger. Because everything else in our hand is good. Eh? 4 colours? Okay. Yay, we have manas. Let's Jadelight. Let's see if we can get some more lands. We're gonna make him a 2/2. Yay, land. We will keep Hadana's Claim. Hadana's Claim is good. So next turn we can drop both of our Merfolk Mistbinders. And then we will have a 5/4 Jadelight Ranger and a 4/4 Deeproot Elite and 2 counters to put. Oh god. I know what he's playing. Oh, we cannot drop both Mistbinders because we only have 1 blue mana. There's no, well, we could attack with both and get through for 3. Which may have been a good idea. Because he's now just going to shit out 4/4 Angels. This is bad. Unclaimed territory is good. I'm going to play the Vanquisher banner. Merfolk, obviously. Because this means when we play the Mistbinder next turn, we get a card, which is always good. Choosing not to attack here because he will probably block the Deeproot Elite and trade with his Angel, which is not what we want to do. We are dead. We are very, very dead right now. Divine Visitation. Yeah. He basically hits us for 20. Why would you do that? You don't need to do that. I've never seen it played in 4 colours before. River's Rebuke returns all non-land permanents that target player controls to their hands. Yeah, it's kind of nasty. This is a better hand. We have 2 colours of mana. We can then drop Deeproot Elite, Mistcloaked Heralds. Yeah, MTG bot. He's the ultimate CCG bot. If you go to his channel and you type !join, he will join your channel and then you can use him. There's a bunch of commands that I've been looking at. You'll see like all of the details on the channel itself. But yeah, I've been hanging out in other Magic MTGA streamers channels, and they all literally use MTG bots so that they can like quote card text and stuff. It's fairly useful, as you can see. Oh, white blue control, really? You're gonna dispersal? Okay. Well, okay. He was probably mana screwed. Did that guy mulligan? Did I miss him mulliganing? I'm not actually sure. Attack with 30 creatures. We're pretty much finishing all of our dailies just by playing this Merfolk deck. I may have to relook at the mana base for this. Sorry MTG bot, you're a mod now. This is pretty good actually. I mean, we can't play our Mystical Herald turn 1, but we are on the draw, so we might draw an island. I thought that might have been too much to ask for. But... I should have dropped the Hinterland Harbour. Drunks, why do you keep doing this? It's fine. We'll get Deeproot Waters out instead. And we're totally not playing against the Selesnya deck, which means we should expect tokens. I keep doing this because I'm silly. Oh god. Oh god. This is a problem. Luckily this does not have trample, which may be our saving grace right now. Because we can just keep throwing 1/1 counters at him, 1/1 tokens at him, and he'll block. Unless he somehow gives it trample, in which case we're screwed. Yeah, like that. We're screwed. I mean... I should have played an island. If I'd played an island, we could have slept them, and then we would have got a turn, but we weren't winning that game. As soon as he like Prodigious Growth, that Giganosaurus, that was just it. Yes, that was incredibly crazy. If you can like accelerate into a Gigantosaurus turn 4 and then Prestigious Growth the next turn, this deck will have many problems with that. It's not the best, but it's also not the worst. So Forest, Hinterland Harbour, please like remind me that I need to play the Hinterland Harbour. We could Mistbinder here, but he's playing red, so he'd probably shock it off the board. I don't really want to give him that option. Do the thing. I did the thing. I played the thing. It's the right thing this time. Hadana's Climb at this point in the game is not the best option, but it means I can now start putting counters on these, and they are now shockproof. You would have to Lightning Bolt and then Lava Coil. Which, again, he's playing red, so those are both options to him. Yep, Lava Coil Ink. Oh, Vraska's Contempt. Okay. Obviously, we're going to pick Merfolk for this. I may as well hit you for 4. This game feels weird because I don't have any of the normal tricks that I would have. Sleep's not really an answer right now. I don't really want to block him. On the plus side, he doesn't have anything to awaken from his graveyard, so plus next turn we get to flip Hadana's Climb. Sleeping the Awakener would be some kind of irony? Yes. Sleeping the Awakening would be incredibly ironic. So, with this, we don't have the option to not transform this, so when it does flip, we're going to have to kill one of these. But I can still use it to put counters on things. Although that didn't actually matter because the opponent conceded. Thank you very much, opponent. Okay, 500 gold and a Rigging Runner. Enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it if you attacked with a creature this turn. That's pretty cool actually, and it has first strike. Let's go. Play more of the Merfolks. Lynx playing Jace the Mind Sculptor. This is an incredibly good hand that I cannot not play this. So we're looking at a white life gain. So I'm pretty safe playing Merfolk Mistbinder right now. Oh, he's got black. I'm doomed. I'm doomed! Not actually doomed. We may as well play this. Deeproot Waters for the win. I should really have saved the Mistbinder until I played Deeproot Waters, but I thought he might have been playing mono white life gain instead of black white vampires. He's going to attack. I'm going to take 2. He's going to play something. Another Bishop Soldier. Not really what I wanted to see, but I'll live with it. Another Johnny's Welcome. So I'm going to block one of these soldiers and dive down to save my Mistbinder. Oh, I couldn't because I used the wrong mana. Ah! Thank you, AutoZap. I'm gonna double block one of these to kill it. It doesn't have Moment of Triumph because it costs 2. Oh no, it costs 1. But now that we have both of our deep root waters, we can start pumping things up. Plus we have a dive down and we have the requisite mana to use it. Which is good. So now any one of our creatures will trade with the Bishop's Soldier. Which is why he's not attacking. And we just got big boy merfolks. Boom. There is zero reason for us not to play Kumena right now. We've got combat, that triggers, we put another token on this guy. Then hit him for 6. A turn ago he was in a really powerful board position because we only had one creature. And he was on 40 life. He is going to keep gaining life, but we now outboard position him and he can't really attack without sacrificing his creatures. So we're going to start putting +1/+1 counters on all the things. So we get another Kumena, which I'm just going to shove in the graveyard. Do we care about flipping this? Sure, why not? It gives us extra mana. And we have Kumena, the ultimate merfolk combat trick. Yeah, okay. You, sir, may gain all of the life that you wish. I know you think that's a really good play because I don't have any flyers, but I do have the Winged Temple of Orazca now. One, two. So we don't have enough to put a second batch of counters on, so we're just gonna draw a card instead. So, this is somewhat silly, but I can do this to create more merfolk, which creates tokens and draws a card, and then I can just sacrifice the one I've just played, because those extra merfolk were actually a lot more beneficial than 3 mana and a card that he's not going to be able to kill anyway. Well, we'll just make Kumena fly. You know, just like casually make him fly. And that's why Hidana's Claim is in the deck. Not only does it give us a flyer, yeah, it also doubles the power and toughness of the creature. Card... Hidana's Claim. And then card Winged Temple of Orazca. There we go. So once it flips, it becomes a Winged Temple of Orazca. So for 3 mana, we basically double the power and it gets flying, which is insane. And we now have enough pack cards for another. We have enough things for a thing. Although drafting's 5,000, I'm not getting anywhere near that. I'm just gonna buy packs. Why not? More Rivals of Ixalan, because I think it's like the lowest set that I have. And we get a Wayward Swordtooth, which I already have 4 of, so it's just gonna go straight into the vault. But we also got an uncommon wild card. Moment of Triumph's pretty good. Kitesale Corsair's pretty poo. Craft Artisan's terrible. Evolving Wilds is pretty good for thinning through decks. Curious Obsession's really good. Swaggering Corsair is okay. And Wayward Swordtooth is fantastic. I like Wayward Swordtooth. Okay, so that is Jungle Secrets, upgraded from its base to an uncommon / common list with a couple of rares sprinkled in that you get in the base. And then Jungle Secrets 3.0, which is sort of over the top with rares and mythics. These will all be on my MTG Pro account, so if you want to go and have a look at them, or they should be if MTG Pro Tracker actually decides it ever wants to send data. If they are not there, let me know and I will post them manually. You will also find Fish is Precious and Sleeping with the Fishes, which were my own. These are kind of my own versions of them, which are pretty similar but different in that they're not quite so budget oriented. But they're there. So next, I think next week we will look at Eternal Thirst, unless anyone wants to challenge me to a fight. In the meantime, I'm going to play a deck. I'm going to play a deck that I have not played before. I'm going to play... Actually, I'm going to play Elf Ball. I have played this before, but I like it. It's fun. This will be the last match of the stream, and then we will call it until next week, where Mr. Vagrant will be joining me once again, I hope. Unless he's just abandoning me and I'm now on my own forever. So we have 3 mana, which lets us curve out nicely in Pelt Collector or Druid of the Cowl, then Steel Leaf Champion. This is good. You're hopeless. I give up and abandon you. Thanks, Vagrant. Love you too. Elf Ball sounds like flinging elves into your opponent's face from a trebuchet. Yeah, that's basically the idea. Harsh Vagrant. Would you like to trade your Healer's Hawk for my Pelt Collector, sir? No, you would not. That's a shame. I have a feeling this is going to be the PTQ deck. So these are legendary, so he's going to have to sacrifice 1, but it means he gets to create another token. It also means that next turn he gets to flip the Legion's Landing and it becomes a token generator. However, we have 5 unblockable damage on the board right now in the form of Steel Leaf Champion. Because it can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or less, and all of his creatures are 1/1s right now. All of his creatures are 2/2s right now. I kind of want to play Marwyn first. Would you like to trade my Steel Leaf Champion for your venerated Loxaboy? No, you would not. Shame, sir. Ooh, a Ajani Adversarial Tyrants. This is not good.
Stand together.
This is distinctly bad. I would go so far as to say this is terrible. Yeah.
Is born of struggle.
I also don't have an answer to that flyer. Trade with me. I don't really care about the elephant right now. I would rather kill his lifelinker. Plus it also puts tokens on our pelt collectors. I also have a shit ton of mana on the board right now because Marwyn provides mana based on the +1/+1 counters she has on her.
Be strong.
And the Knight of Grace is going to be problematic. But next turn we're going to drop 2 Steel Leaf Champions. 3, 5, 6, yeah. Ah, he's going to take the Beast Whisperer. Can I? No, I can't play all of these. The Danto Vanguard. This is not going particularly well. I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but Ajani gets the ult next turn. Conclave Tribunal on the Beast Whisperer really fucked us. What do I do here? He has no cards in hand. He has a freaking shit ton of blockers on the board though. I need to deal with Johnny. So if he wants to trade his entire board for a Johnny, then I'm gonna be happy to make that trade. You can't block the Steel Leaves with these 2. So he'd have to block one of these 3. To be honest, his best bet would be to let Ajani die right now and then swing for lethal next turn. Because he has lethal on the board here. And I've literally just tapped myself out to kill his Ajani. This is a terrible play. Ah, I clicked the wrong one as well. I wanted to make the untapped Marwyn, but I mean we're dead this turn. Conclave on the Beast Whisperer really screwed us. Doing that again because that was not a fair representation of Elf Ball. To come up against a deck that finished in the top 8 of the Pro Tour is not a fair representation of a janky tribal deck. Yeah, this hand is insane. Elvish Clancaller, Pelt Collector, Druid of the Cull. Yeah, this is nice. Hi Sharpie, how are you? Ah, mono red, really? You're just gonna kill my Pelt Collector, aren't you? Well, do you know what? If you want to burn my Thorn Lieutenant, you're going to give me other elves. It's just how it's going to be. Frickin' take one, bitch. You've been here the whole time? I know that. I knew that. I totally knew that. You came in with Saf, didn't you? Yeah, I was paying attention. See, I told you I was paying attention. It's probably going to kill the Elvish Clancaller here. But that's a shock that's not going on something else. Stop drawing forests! I do not... Oh god, we're screwed. Stop it! So we die in 4 turns, effectively. No, not more forests, less forests. Marwyn will do. Sure. We're still dead. We're still screwed. Like, we cannot deal with this Phoenix. You gonna block the frenzy? No, because that's gonna take all your mana. We're dead in 2 turns, because Phoenix. He probably has a Banefire or something in his hand that he wants to use on us. There'd be no reason for him to play Experimental Frenzy otherwise. Okay. Still gonna kill your things. Look, Vagrant, you wished. No more forests. We've had enough forests. Man, this deck's good, it's just not really performing very well against these like high caliber decks. This is a good deck. This is also a really good hand. Wait, Steel Leaf Champion's a knight? I did not know that. No, I mean we need a certain level of forests. Like, I'm not gonna lie. You know, we need some forests. Are we playing against mono red again? We are playing against mono red again. Could you please fuck your mono red right off? Like, please, just... fuck me. I really want to play Marwyn, but she's gonna get shocked into oblivion. At this point, you probably Lava Coil? No, it doesn't run Lava Coil mono red. Phoenix, of course. Of course it'd be a Phoenix. Why would it not be a Phoenix? I want to play Marwyn. I can't really attack though. So the reason I'm playing Marwyn is so that I can Elvish Clancaller and then do a second Steel Leaf next turn. Or potentially Steel Leaf Thorn Lieutenant, but Clancaller would be the better shout. Oh god, really? Frick. He's gonna shock. Vice Shield Pyromancer. Okay. I'd really like to not run up against the top tier deck, please. Lightning Strike on Marwyn. Sure, I'll trade. Three, 5. We take 9 next turn. We're probably dead next turn. But I'm not gonna lie, we probably die here. Unless somehow he does not top deck a burn spell. Even if all he swings with are the Phoenixes, he's got a shock in hand. Yep. Oh, on my face? So we die horribly unless we block like this. Silent Phoenix and Mrs. Phoenix are ending me, yeah. We're dead. That deck, for the record, is horrendous. Is this the same? Yeah, this is basically the same deck. It's slightly different, but it has a lot of the same thing. Rekindling Owl is, yeah, it's the stupid deck-based matchmaking in Ladder, which I find really stupid, but I don't want to go through an entire constructed event just to play a deck. Because that's like 7 games. It's just silly. But yeah, I think we may call it here. We're over our usual allotted timescale for this week, so we will call it here. If nobody comes to me with deck ideas before next week, I will look at upgrading Eternal Thirst in the same manner we did Jungle Secrets. If you do have a deck request, please let me know, and me and Vagrant will butcher it completely while we are trying to upgrade things. This weekend I am open to challenges if anyone would like to play against me. I will not play... I'll play some sort of janky, not top tier deck, just so that it's a little bit less unfair. And I will try and use it as an educational experience rather than just me destroying you. But yeah, if you want to fight, then let me know and we can arrange something. Otherwise, I will see you guys later tonight when I will be streaming Disgaea 5. Maybe. It might be Fallout 76, I haven't decided yet. It may be Disgaea 5. We shall see. If I don't see you tonight, then I will be back Monday, and Hit the Deck will be back next Friday with Mr. Vagram contributing his usual dulcet tones to the endeavour. But yeah, goodbye for now guys, and I will catch you all later.